Jumping right into this, the Esee Candiru review. This is a 1095 steel. Blade coating on this is a textured powder coat. If you're familiar with the Esees, it's the same as what you've seen before in those. Blade length on this is 2 inches with an overall, it's about 5 inches roughly. It is a saber ground knife. Got some jimping up top. Yeah, it's okay. It works. It's not bad. Colors comes in black, green, tan, lighter tan, purple, pink. There's a bunch of stuff available for this little guy. Now, how does this thing perform? Well, here's a little shot that I did on the grind of the actual blade. Made a dog toy yesterday out of some old climbing rope and used this to cut through it. Honestly, I got a little frustrated with it. So I want to do a comparison today with the Esee and against a Spyderco Dragonfly, mainly because it's about the same size. So let's just go through it with this Dragonfly right here. If I can do it up high enough for you. So there's about one cut, about halfway through. Let's just go on the other side here. So got that up, cut portion up. So 2 cuts with a blade that's about the similar size. Now, let's go with this one. Let's see if I can mimic that. So we'll do the same thing. Put it on this side, I'll give it a good, there's one. That's what I mean. See that? See the difference in the cuts there? See that? See the difference in the cuts? I hear a lot about how well this cuts. That's how I feel about it. Let's go back to this one. I'm going to move down. Oh, maybe I'll just move back up a little bit. Cut is here. Cut is here. We'll cut just on the other side of those. There you go. So honestly, the overall performance on the cutting on this, I'm not that impressed. It's just that edge geometry. Now, this is a thicker blade than this, and on some level you do want that because what this is designed for, or I guess what a lot of people tend to use this for, you do want something a little more robust. But in my opinion, and as I just demonstrated, you do lose a lot of the cutting power with the edge geometry that they have on this. Overall, with the blade performance, you know, I've seen other reviews, and honestly, a lot of people say it comes razor sharp, it holds a great edge. That has not been my experience at all. My experience has been typical of neck knives, of this type of neck knife, honestly, and it's been lackluster. It came okay. The sharpness of the blade was okay. It was there. When I sharpen it, it's okay. It's adequate. It's just not the best edge that I've worked with. If you're going to be doing things around the house, EDC blade light use, I think it works well, works adequate there. One way I really like to use it in some cases, depending on what I'm cutting, is it works great for pinching, choking up on it, and you can get some great control. I was actually cutting some cardboard down, testing edge retention on this, reminding myself of this blade. I've actually had it since 2014. So it's been 2 years since I've been running this blade. You know, where this really fits in, honestly, is occasionally I'll wear it around the house if I've just got some flannel bottoms on, being lazy, waking up Sunday morning, something like that makes it nice. Another option is when we go out to a lake, we're in the water a lot, so I've got my swimming suit on, there's nowhere to really clip an EDC or folder. It's nice to have this around my neck. And when I did that, I actually first purchased it, and this is not the sheath or setup that it comes with. but it actually came with this one. I don't want to spend too much time on this because they're not even selling these anymore, but when they first released this knife, this was the sheath that it came with. To put it bluntly, this thing is horrible. Just with a neck knife, you want to be able to get to it quickly. Kydex is the way to go, not this one. The only reason I bring this up is if you're looking for this on the second market, second-hand market that is, you might want to see if it's got this type of sheath. I do not recommend this sheath at all. However, to Esee's credit, I think they heard that people did not like the sheath, and they are now coming with a molded plastic sheath. So, you know, good for them for listening to their customers. This sheath is not a standard sheath that it comes with. This is a grindwork sheath that I actually purchased from Blade HQ to replace that other sheath. This is before they were released how they currently are. This in particular sheath, I think it looks great and it holds very well. This is the type of setup that you want. Actually really nice right here. And the sheath I think is about 15 bucks. Over there at Blade HQ, at least it was when I purchased it. There are some different ways to run this neck knife. You probably want to do something like that. That's going to be what most people will recommend because this could potentially choke you. However, I have yet to hear of that happening to anybody, nor have I ever had that happen to me, so I don't mind going the leather route. If you're going to get into the feather sticking, you're going to be doing notches with this thing. I just don't personally find it that comfortable to use. Now, it does come with some aftermarket scales, either some G10, I think they're orange, I'm not sure if they're offered in any other colors, and some tan micarta, and they're around 15 bucks for those. So the knife itself is coming in at about 50, so you add another 15 on it, that's 65. And there you've got a setup where you've got at least some ergonomics going on, a little better ergonomics than it currently has. But again, in this configuration, it's real nice for a neck knife because it's just so thin. So putting it on underneath the shirt, you know, pulling it out when you need it, it's just so nice and thin. You know, it works well for that. Other options, of course, you got some paracord laying around. You can do some paracord wrap to it. For me, I'm not going to dump any more money into this knife. I just don't see me using it all that much. I've just been, you know, it's okay, honestly. I'm just not that impressed by this knife. That kind of deviates from what I've heard about it on the internet, but that's been my experience. You see back here on the handle, if I'm getting up, I can get about 3 fingers on it. So that's about what you're looking at. Again, going back to this pinch cut, I really like that for certain applications. Works okay here. You know, any type of work, I can just kind of start feeling it digging into my hand. To be really impressed with it and to even recommend it for a knife guy, I think the price has got to drop, and this edge, there's got to be something done with the edge. I mean, it's just an okay edge. And from what I'm used to with Esee, my SE4, my Esee Izula 2, those have been fantastic knives. I really like those. In fact, the 4 is probably one of my favorite knives that I own. This one just not so much. I mean, it's a good looking knife. I like the way it looks. It's a good looking knife. I like the whole setup like this, the way it looks as well. But again, I think the biggest thing for me is just the edge retention. That's a big one, and the ergonomics overall. Again, for light EDC use, it's not bad. It works adequately well. But I want something that's going to take an edge and hold an edge very well. It's certainly a robust knife. I mean, I've thrashed it pretty good. You know, the powder coating is holding up well on it. You can see the tip on it is, you know, it's a good tip for, it's, you know, delicate enough, or not delicate, it's got precision to it, should you need it, but it's also robust enough that you can hammer on it some, and it's, you know, it's not going to give way on you. So that's a good thing about the knife as well. Departs from, I think, what most people think about it. That's just been my experience. For the amount that it costs, you know, I'd rather get a different blade, a folder that's going to perform, in my opinion, in my experience, actually, much better as far as that edge cutting goes. So there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.